You are listening to an exclusive on PodHub Network. Your city, your podcast.
All right, welcome back to another edition of Back to the Burgh, Small Business Edition. Joining me today is a good friend of mine, actually. His name's Christian Circle. He owns Keeks Barbershop in Rochester, Pennsylvania, and that's the only place I get my hair cut. So since I haven't been home in a while, that's why I look like this. So, Christian, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, no problem. Is that Hannah?
Hannah's just sitting there like staring at me like I'm...
Let's see Hannah. I haven't seen Hannah in forever. Bring her on.
Come on, Hannah. She's sitting there like staring at me like I'm...
Hi, Cody.
Hey, Hannah. How are you?
Thank you, buddy. Happy birthday. Late birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, it was just yesterday.
Yeah.
You didn't tell him happy birthday?
Yes, I did. I was just saying it
No,
again.
she did.
Bye.
See ya.
Go finish cooking the chili.
All right. So, Christian, like I said, just from that interaction, I think people will know that we have a very close relationship. We're really good friends. And yeah, I actually, we didn't meet until we met once before we became friends. So our families were intertwined at one point. Yeah, they were intertwined at one point where my dad was dating your now ex-aunt. And that's kind of how I met you for the first time.
Yeah.
It was
stepmom.
Yeah, it's a weird situation, but that's Beaver County for you.
Yeah.
So that's where I met you for the first time. It was like going away party, and you were going off to Hawaii because you're in the military. And I remember I met you, and you were in your gear, and you were stone faced. I didn't know. Hey, nice to meet you for 5 seconds, and then you come back from Hawaii, and we become best friends very quickly. So just to give people a background of how we met. There it is.
Yeah.
So
people think.
Oh, go ahead.
People always think like I'm like just that serious, but I think it's just my face. Everyone thinks I'm like a dickhead, but
no. Now that I know you and I look at your face, I'm like, it's like that TikTok. It's like, are they thinking about? And it's like I could just imagine the craziest things that you're thinking about when you're just stone faced.
It's probably honestly nothing.
Yeah, probably. So since I didn't grow up with you and I can't tell your whole biography alone, tell us about you. Tell us about growing up in Center in Monaca. What was that experience like for you?
I mean, I don't know. Center's a pretty cool place to grow up. I mean, everyone seems to get along with each other, and like I was kind of friends with everybody, so it's pretty. I mean, I had a cool childhood growing up in Center. Still, like a lot of my friends, I grew up with from there, the majority of them. So
yeah,
it's not bad, and I mean it's still Beaver County, so
yeah,
still in Beaver County.
Yeah. So what did you guys do? Like where'd you guys go? Where'd you guys hang out? Did you just hang out in the backyard? Like,
I mean, Center's so big, so you couldn't like. It's not like how everyone was. I mean, we played outside and like whatever, like rode bikes around Center, but like Center's so big, so like I don't know, all the neighborhoods are kind of spread out. It's not like Monaco where everyone
you can just go downtown or whatever.
Yeah, it's so close. And honestly, like it wasn't until probably like 10th grade is when Monaca and Center merged.
Yeah.
And then we started going downtown Monaca, and then that's when we had I would just wake up. Me and my friends would like wake up. I would just drive down to the courts, get dropped off at the courts, and then there would be like 20 people already there. Like no texting saying, "Hey, I'm going down to the courts." Like everyone was already there. I thought that was cool because like didn't really do that in Center.
Yeah,
but, that was a little bit different, but.
So you mentioned the Center Monaca merger into CV. I talked to Jordan DeFigio last week about that whole thing because I think she said she was a senior when that happened. What was your experience kind of merging high schools? How did you view it? how did it affect you personally?
I mean, dude, it was like, I don't know, it was just because Monaco was like a lot smaller than us, than Center. So the kids that it's not like our grade like grew like, I don't know. It was just, it wasn't as bad, as hard as like people think, or as different as people think.
Yeah, it wasn't a
It's
big
like
transition.
No, it really wasn't. And then I met like Smitty
Yeah.
through the merge, and yeah, and like he was always down at the courts too, and then that's how like we became real close and everything. So
Yeah.
but it wasn't like a weird transition or anything. At least from what I remember, it feels like forever ago.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you and your brother Tom, that's the only brother of yours that I know. I know you have an older brother that I've met maybe twice. But you and Tom, you grew
No,
up.
that's just that's my only brother.
Oh, who's it that
I got
comes
a
around
younger
for the?
sister.
Yeah, but who comes around for the softball tournament? I've seen him at your house when we were moving. I think I can't remember his name. I've only met him a couple times. Is he your uncle? Maybe cousin?
Maybe my uncle. Probably, yeah, that's my uncle with the two
Okay,
kids.
maybe.
Yeah, that's probably my uncle.
Okay,
I
I mean
don't know.
that's what I mean is I've only met him a handful of times, and it's like he just seems like an older brother. It's like maybe 35 or something, you know?
Yeah, that's probably my uncle. He's
So
he's
anyway,
younger.
back to you and Tom. So you and Tom grew up playing hockey together. What was it like to be able to play on the same team as your brother? I didn't get to experience that as a kid.
So he was a little bit older, so it wasn't like we were most of the time like we didn't like really play together.
Oh,
Like
okay. I
growing
thought
up
you guys
like
were a
we
little
did.
closer in age.
But
My bad.
yeah, he always played in leagues above, like a league above me, you know. But there were times where we did get to play together, and it like that was cool. He was always the goalie, so
Yeah.
yeah, he was pretty good. And then he got shot in the eye with a paintball gun, and lost his right side of his vision, so like off his
Yeah,
peripheral.
there
So,
goes his goalie career.
yeah, couldn't play goalie anymore. But yeah, that sucks. So that's actually like with JT. He played more with.
Oh yeah, you played
My
with
brother.
JT. You played with, or your brother played with JT Miller. Yeah.
Yeah, he played more with my brother, but like I grew up like around all those guys playing too. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was cool.
And I remember I would go to your dad's house every once in a while, and we'd go in the basement. There's pictures of you and Tom at the with there are pictures of you with Mario Lemieux. When
Oh
you
yeah, dude.
like, did you realize who you were like taking a picture with at that time?
Yeah, when I was little, I used to like I was always a huge fan of Lemieux, and
Yeah.
like even like during hockey tournaments, his kids are around my age too. I can't remember if it's his daughter or his son, but they both played at the time, and they would always be Lemieux would be at almost every tournament I was at because his kids were in that tournament. So I'll be playing a hockey game, and Lemieux will be sitting in the stands with all the parents, just watching the game. Like no one would bother him, you know. He'd just be sitting there like watching his kids play. And then I would go to his camp too. And then at the last day of the camp, it was only like a week long, but at the last day of the camp, Lemieux would always come at the last day and do like a little scrimmage with us, like jump on both sides of the team, and got to play with him. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
You like grew up with Mario Lemieux. I like didn't realize that. Like I thought you just went to camps and you took a picture with him.
No, he was
That's crazy.
My grandpa's cut his hair before. Like,
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He's nice, man. Like, and even like there would be like kids that go up to him while they're in the stands, you know, while he's in the stands, you know, and like ask for an autograph. He never had a problem signing autographs, and he's always, for the most part, no one bothered him because he was just there to watch his kids play. But
yeah, and I've talked to a few people on the podcast about how like Pittsburgh people treat our athletes, and that's like to a T. Like
Yeah.
that's how it is. Is you're not going to bother them. They're
Yeah.
there just like you are, doing the same thing, watching their kid play, or just
Yeah.
at a restaurant eating. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
to know that.
Even same with like I played against Edzo's kid too, the old Penguins coach, and he would do the same thing. He was just sit in the stands, no one would bother him.
Yeah.
It was cool.
I mean, I'm still in shock that you basically grew up with Mario Lemieux.
Yeah, I mean,
To you, it's nothing. To me, it's like holy shit.
I was always a huge fan. I was actually I was really young at the time, but I remember I don't remember the full game or anything, but I do remember being at Mellon Arena and his first game back from
his cancer
from his cancer. Yeah, so I was there at his first game back. My dad took us down there, and I thought that was pretty cool. Then ever since then, he's just been always my favorite hockey player.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so growing up. Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I was saying it's funny. I don't know how real was, but when I think about it now, but I used to write letters to him when I was younger, and then I would get signed pictures back from him. So
that's awesome. Holy shit.
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff, man, from all signed by Lemieux.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So growing up, did you always think that you were going to eventually become a barber?
No.
No?
Not at all.
So for those that don't know, Christian was, or I mean, I think I mentioned it 10 minutes ago, but Christian was in the military. Did you know you were going to go into the military?
No. So.
Okay. So let's go through this process.
Yeah. It was, dude, it's gonna sound super corny. My mom was, after high school, my mom was pressing me about what the hell are you doing? Are you going to school? Are you joining the military? What? Because I did mention I was thinking about the military.
Yeah.
She wasn't on board with it, but then after me not doing shit, she was like, all right, what are you doing? You need to figure this out. Are you going to school? What? So I toured some colleges and everything, and then I don't know, school was never for me. So the one day I'm I wake up, it's I don't even know what day it was, but I wake up and I'm thinking, I was oh, should I go talk to the recruiters? I don't know what to do, should I go talk to the recruiters? I'm sitting on my couch, and I was I'm ready to go out the door, but I don't know if I want to go out the door. And no shit, one of those army commercials come on, as I'm sitting there thinking about it, I was all right, I guess that's a sign, I'll go do it. So
that's funny.
Yeah, but I don't regret it. Definitely wouldn't do it again.
Yeah. I think I've talked to you about boot camp and stuff and how intense that was. I couldn't even imagine that experience.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. Some people get it worse than others.
Is it just overwhelming?
Yeah, it's more mental than anything.
Yeah.
First step into basic training is it's a holding phase, a processing phase. So once you get the basic training, it's not boom, you start training right there. They take you to this place that's called 30th AG, and it's the worst fucking place in the world. So you get there, and then that's when the whole in processing starts, and they tell you 72 hours in processing, then they ship you to basic, which is just a bus ride up the hill to your company, but they don't tell you really how long you're going to be there. So they tell you 3 days. They don't tell you shit the whole time. You're just not getting any sleep. You're standing in lines. You're getting shots. You're getting your hair cut. You're getting all this shit. And you don't know what the hell's going on. You're literally zero sleep for the first 3 days. And then I was there a total of 10 days before I actually got the basic training. So that whole 10 days felt like fucking year. And it's just so that was, honest to God, that first 10 days before basic training was the worst part of basic training.
Wow.
You're just not sleeping. You're getting I don't know, man. It's hard to explain. It's just all mental. They're not really making you do anything because you can't to like push-ups and everything because they don't want to hurt you before you go into basic training. So they just fuck with you mentally.
But I mean, that's a lot of what it takes is to get through that mental part before the physical, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because then, like honestly, when I got to basic training, like it was a lot harder physical wise. But I was like so relieved. I'm like, I'm just happy I'm out of 30th AG.
Yeah.
Like that place was absolutely terrible. You can ask anybody that's been to Fort Benning, Georgia, in the infantry, and they would tell you the worst place is Fort Benning, Georgia.
Well, I'm going to take your word for it.
30th AG, not Fort Benning. 30th.
Yeah. So now let's talk about would you call them tours? You did 3 tours. What would you call it?
So
I don't know the lingo.
I would say it's the deployment. So I was stationed in Hawaii. So Hawaii's job is like to pretty much guard the Pacific.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, Hawaii still deploys to the Middle East and everything, but for the most part, like we stay in the Pacific. So I spent some time in Australia and Indonesia. So that was pretty much it. Then once I was getting out, my company went to Japan, but I stayed back because I was getting the hell out of there.
Yeah. Now, I remember that first time we met, everybody's like, oh, he's getting the easy way out. He's going to Hawaii. Was that statement or assumption true?
Fuck no, dude. I hated Hawaii. I didn't hate Hawaii. I mean,
I was going to say, imagine hating going to Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii the island's beautiful. Like, the people are awesome. The food's awesome. Everything's awesome about Hawaii. But, like, our company trained, like, nonstop. Like, any chance we got, like, we were training. And I don't know if you guys ever seen pictures of it, like, the mountains and how thick that, like, jungle, they call it, is.
Yeah.
But that's where we train. Like, we don't train, like, there's nothing really open in Hawaii, so we're not training in like these open fields or anything, flat land. It's all like those mountains, and we'll be there 2 weeks at a time, and we're literally up and down these mountains, all for 2 weeks straight. So the terrain like ruined Hawaii for me because like I didn't even want to go on these like beautiful hikes over in Hawaii because I was like, that's all we do is
that's training.
That's training. And then I'm not even kidding. It rains like once a day somewhere on that island. It might not rain like you could go there for vacation, you might never see rain. But on every training site that we go to, it rains every single day. Like there will be time where it will rain 2 weeks straight, and we're out there 2 weeks straight in the rain in that terrain, which is just terrible.
Oh my goodness.
So everyone's like, "Oh, Hawaii, you're so lucky." I'm like, yeah, you don't see Hawaii like I see Hawaii. But
so, what was your favorite part about Hawaii, though? Because I mean, you got to give the people a little bit of hope about Hawaii.
Oh no, like, dude, Hawaii is a great place to visit.
Yeah.
Like, unless like you're like you born and raised there, like I don't know, it's just not somewhere I would want to live. Like, it's super expensive. Any chance I got to go home, it was $2,000, almost $2,000 plane ticket, 12-hour flight.
Yeah.
Because I always thought Hawaii was like right off the coast. Like I would see it on the map, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty close to the states. That shit's like smack dab in the Pacific.
Yeah, you weren't like very good geography in high school, huh?
Yeah. I'm like, I mean, from California to Hawaii is like a 6-hour flight itself.
Yeah.
And here to California is probably 6 hours.
Yeah.
So the flight was always terrible. And then you feel like you're stuck on a rock. I mean, downtown's cool. Honolulu was cool to party at, but you're spending like $300 every time you go out. So that's half your paycheck.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It was cool. It was a good experience and everything. Hawaii was cool. I got to live in Hawaii for 4 years, but
yeah,
I wouldn't do it again. I'd rather go back and visit, go to like a smaller island. It's more considered like country than all the tourists and everything. So
yeah, that'd be a really cool experience.
Hawaii, yeah.
Now you said you went to Indonesia. What was that experience like?
Honestly, like the I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like Indonesia is what the place that we went to, at least. I know there's a lot of beautiful places in Indonesia, but we went to, um, we flew into the city of Jakarta, which is like picture Pittsburgh with all the skyscrapers, everything just like ran down. People picture like people bathing in the Ohio, like in no traffic laws, which is just fucking
Yeah.
wild. Like everyone going different ways on their mopeds, like scary as shit. But
Yeah.
um
Oh.
but like for the most part, I mean, I don't know, we got to train with the Indonesian army and it was kind of like their special forces. So these dudes are like all like badass dudes, man, but barely spoke English, but they were pretty badass. And we got to train with them and see like how they taught us like a bunch of shit, like jungle survival, and big thing was snake training. Like, so that's part of their snake handling is part of their like actual training. So there's cobras everywhere where we were, cobras, and they would just catch these cobras. We'll sit around in a circle and like they'll tell us how to like handle a cobra and shit. It was wild.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
it
Then after we were done, they would chop off the head and drink the blood of the cobra. There's
yeah, that's pretty badass.
yeah. These dudes are nuts, man.
So like was it kind of just a survival thing with the cobras, like just to make sure you didn't?
Yeah, they would teach us how to like set up like traps in the jungle, and honestly
Okay.
it was like smaller traps for like food, but then there's also traps that they taught us to like, these same traps you can make it bigger to just catch a human. It's like I don't know, it's like it's wild shit that they did. But yeah, they taught us. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. We're
Okay.
good.
They taught us, I mean a bunch of cool stuff, more like jungle survival. And then we would show them like some of our training, they would show some of theirs. And
Yeah.
we went to the shooting range and every single one of them outshot us because couldn't believe it, man. But then I realized like, oh, these dudes are like their special forces, so makes sense.
And then you also went to Australia, which is another beautiful country. What was your experience like there?
That was absolutely terrible
I
because
think
I didn't get to see shit.
I think I remember you telling me about this. Yeah.
I didn't see anything in Australia. We spent the whole like what was it, like 2 months there, like in the woods.
Yeah.
Like so what we do, like before we deploy, we go to Louisiana for a month.
Okay.
And we do a pre-deployment training, and you get your company has to get validated before you get deployed. Well, these dudes do a 3-month training, same thing, but it's like 3 months long. And that's what they were doing at the time when we got there. So we pretty much just helped them with their training there. And the whole time we were out in the woods, like, and it didn't even seem like we were helping them. It was like we were just doing our own thing.
Yeah.
Like they just threw us in the training. Like we got there and like I wasn't even working with any Australians.
Yeah.
I was just in the woods with my company literally the whole time. Like absolutely terrible. And then when we got out, like when training was done, they were trying to give us like some R&R, but it turned out to be like, okay, you guys can go do what you want. Then it turned to be like, all right, well, if you go do something, it has to be in like groups of 4. Then it turned into groups of 20. It was just army shit. Like, and then it was like, well, why even go out?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going out with a group of 50 people and like everyone has to agree on what they want to do. Is stupid.
Yeah.
So I really didn't get to see Australia that much. And the woods of Australia are like fucking woods here in Pennsylvania, except different insects and
Different animals.
Yeah, like kangaroos and shit.
Just say
You got deer, they got
wombats or anything.
Yeah, kangaroos and like they're everywhere, dude. I didn't see one for like the first like couple weeks. I'm like, this is bullshit. And then next thing
I came here for the kangaroos. Where they at?
Yeah, I was like, I haven't seen a single kangaroo. Then next thing I know, this little baby kangaroo shoots across, and everyone's like screaming my name. They're like, look beside you. And I like, I look over to my left, and the mom kangaroo is just like right next to me, just staring at me. We just kind of had like a stare down. This thing was fucking huge, and then it just
That's
hopped away.
like that's the American equivalent of like being right next to a bear. I feel like,
Dude, those things are massive.
That's the Australian equivalent of being right next to a bear. I feel like.
I don't know.
Are they as aggressive? Like when it comes to their cubs
I guess
or
so. Some of
joeys?
them,
I guess.
from what I understand, is there's like 3 different types of kangaroos. There's like the reds and grays and whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and certain the old say like you got to be careful like with some of them because a lot of them are like not a lot, but some types are more aggressive than others, and they'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
For sure. So I just stayed away, man. Like same with it's like the hogs in Hawaii. Like
Yeah.
you see them, you don't mess with them because they'll fuck you up.
Yeah, they'll mess you up.
I had a platoon sergeant that was like because people would try to mess with the hogs that were out. Like they'll like I don't know. Some people would try maybe like throw something at it. I don't know what they'll do, but I had a platoon sergeant that said, if you want to mess with the hogs around us, you got to make it fair and you got to get on all fours too. So there was like some people that would do it, like that would like charge at this thing and try to on all fours and like.
Oh my god!
Most of the time, the thing would just squeal and run away. But
yeah, hey, anything to waste time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So before we talk about you coming back from your deployment, your 4-year deployment, I want to talk to you about your tattoos. And ever since I've known you, you've had tattoos, and I feel like you don't even know how many you have, or do you?
Nah, not really.
Okay, so I want to know which one's your most recent, and which one's your favorite, if you have a favorite.
Oh man, my most recent is right here. Like
What is that?
Right on the sideburn. I don't know if you saw that yet.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I got a little one right here. My most favorite. I don't know, dude. Like I used to when I was like first starting to get tattooed, I would try to get stuff that was like meaningful, you know, like I don't know, like praying hands or some shit, you know, something like meaningful. Yeah. And then like the older I got, I was kind of like, whatever, if it's cool, if I can put it on me. Like if I like it, I don't give a shit. But yeah, it started out with, oh, I'm getting tattooed. I'll never go below the elbow. Then I went below the elbow. Then I was like, oh, I'll never get my hands done. Got my hands done. Never get my neck. Got my neck. Never got my face. Got my fucking face.
So, I remember one time we were at Whiskey Rhythm, and I was like, yeah, I kind of want to get a tattoo. And you're like, oh yeah, where do you want to get it? And I was like, I want to get it right here on my hand. And you're like, yeah, do you have a tattoo? And I'm like, no. He's like, do not get your first tattoo on your hands.
A lot of there's some people that a lot of artists won't even do that
for the first time. For the
first time, yeah. You go in there and you say, hey, I want a tattoo on my hand. They'll be like, let's not do that. You know.
See, that's the people drawing the tattoos are more responsible than the people that get them.
Obviously. Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, you do get some artists that are like, I don't care, like, I don't know you. Why would I care what you get? But
yeah, they're like, oh, it's free money, right?
Yeah, but for the most part, a lot of them wouldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I looked at it like, all right, I'm barber, I have my own business, probably going to be a barber for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's like you're your own boss. So it's like, do whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean, I try not to look too much like a convict, but as my mom would say.
So she doesn't like all of them, or she doesn't like any of them? What's her opinion on it?
She doesn't really, she doesn't really care, you know. When she first found out about my neck, she came into the barbershop and she knew I had got it, and she was like, let me see it. And I showed her and she's like, you're ugly, and then just left. Yeah. And then the only one I tried hiding my hands, because when I got my hands done, I was actually living with her.
Yeah.
And
you were trying to hide it?
Yeah, I tried hiding my hands for a little bit. it didn't last long.
I was gonna say, how do you hide your hands?
I was just wearing long sleeves, like
Long
pulling them up.
sleeves, hands in your
Like-
pockets all the time.
Yeah. And then honestly, the one that I was actually like worried about her finding out was the one here.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell her for like the first like few months I had it. And then we went to Florida for my aunt's wedding. And I was like, well, like I had my hair cut so like you could like really see it, you know. And the first like 3 days, I mean, dude, there was times she was sitting like on my right side. We're sitting in the pool and she's talking to me.
She
Never
doesn't even
noticed it. Never noticed it. And then it wasn't until like the wedding dinner where I'm like sitting there just eating. Hannah's talking to my mom, and the way Hannah tells it's hilarious because she's like talking to my mom. My mom's like smiling. My mom looks over at me, and I don't notice this. And she's like smiling, then just boom, like straight face. And Hannah knew exactly what she just saw. You know, so in the middle of dinner, in the middle of this like beautiful wedding dinner, I just hear, "What the fuck is on your face?" Like, I was like, "Mom, I had this for years. You didn't see it."
Oh wow, that's hilarious.
But she ended up laughing about it like 5 minutes later. So
Yeah.
she doesn't really care.
So I know you and your family are huge Dave Matthews Band fans.
Mm-hmm.
You guys go to every concert you can go to. Do you have any Dave Matthews tattoos like your brother does?
No, I don't.
So I know your brother has the one on his calf.
Yeah, I don't have any Dave Matthews tattoos. No.
So
I
you're
got some funny
not
ones.
as into it as Thomas.
Oh no, I mean I love that's my favorite band is Dave Matthews. A lot of people probably make fun of me for that, but I don't give a shit.
It might deter people from coming to do your business.
Yeah, right. I don't give a
If it wasn't the tattoos, it's definitely the Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't look like the typical Dave Matthews Band fan, but
Yeah.
yeah, I got some funny ones, but not any Dave Matthews.
Yeah. So now let's get into the business. Let's get into the reason you're here. Let's talk about Keeks. First, let's start. Why did you decide, I'm going to be a barber? What went into that?
When I got out of the military, I went to. Sorry, this thing keeps like freezing on.
You're good.
I went straight to school after the military because I didn't know what I really wanted to do. I was like, well, I'll go to school for safety, not like giving it any thought. And like did one semester. Hannah wrote all my papers. And then I did good, but it was just school's like not for me. So like thinking to myself, like I brought it up like a few times because all over Beaver County you see barber school ? And then that's all you see.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's like there might be the number to call at the bottom.
Yeah,
sometimes it's faded away.
Literally just barber school, which is actually like not a bad like marketing plan because the guy
Because you're like, wait, barber school? Like
like he just
else?
says barber school, but when you Google barber school, or at least here, the first thing that pops up is barber school at Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So everyone goes to barber school at Pittsburgh, if you're thinking about barber school. So like I was thinking about it, I looked it up, and I mean they accepted the GI Bill, so I went completely for free.
That's awesome.
And I was like, I've always been kind of like artistic in a way, and I feel like you kind of need to be a barber.
Mm-hmm.
So always like thought it would be something that I was good at. Never done it before. Never cut anybody's hair, not even in the military or anything. So I gave it a shot, and here I am.
Yeah. And I think I was one of the few people that you first cut their hair outside of school.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about that like a lot, like because I'm like I'm like super hard on my haircuts, like whatever I do, like any of my work, like I'll take a picture of it, I want to post it online, then I'll sit there and look at it all day and then pick it apart and be like, no, I'm not posting
you're
it.
just super
really
critical.
The average person just scrolling past and seeing a haircut, liking it, whatever. And I don't know, I like started like lately I've been enrolling in like different like online academies and everything, like just trying to like just get better, like
just
you
hone
like
your
you might
craft.
think, like, you might think like I'm good, but like I want to keep like growing. So like I've been doing that, and like I've been like getting more confidence, like post pictures and everything. And I was like thinking about that. I'm like, after like now I see like a lot of like more like progression in my work. I'm get more comfortable at like, at least like in my eyes, like posting pictures and everything. Cause like I said, I was hard on it. I like think back, I'm like, thank God I had like you and
Yeah.
Cody and Stubbs, Rod, like all of them. Like I'm like, you guys let me fuck up your hair for at least like
That's the thing. I never thought you fucked up my hair. I always thought you did a fantastic job.
yeah. I mean, you like, so you like maybe like I didn't do like too bad on yours. Like you don't have like too much of a fade, you know, like you
Yeah.
usually you don't get it like skin.
I mean,
But I
now I
look
do,
at like,
but
yeah. Oh yeah, now you do. Before you did it.
but before, yeah, no, I've only gotten it like that twice, I think.
Yeah. And but like I look at like someone like Cody, you know, and you get that bald fade, like hard part. I look at old pictures, I'm like, dude.
Listen, I don't
that
want
was
to. I don't want to roast Cody too much about his part that he had, but like that wasn't it. He should have never had you do that. Look at it all.
Yeah.
I'm like, why did he do that hard part?
Yeah, it was like, so then I think when I was cutting it, I was probably fucking it up. It turned out to be like in the middle of his head at one point. Like,
He just had like a strip in the middle of his head.
yeah. And you got, and every single one of you guys were like, yeah, it's good, man. I like it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I always,
Which is-
honest to God, I was like, that's the best haircut I ever got.
Yeah.
Looking back, thinking about it now, you may have left the top a little too long,
Yeah.
but like I told you to do that, so that's on me.
Yeah. Dude, and it, like, I mean, there's still like certain hair, like I like your dad's hair.
Oh
cut,
yeah,
dude, your dad's hair, it's like, it just doesn't cooperate.
nope,
You know,
never.
like I cut it and like I style it and it looks nice and he likes it. He leaves the barbershop happy, and then he'll come back and be like, I don't know what to do about like this part of the hair. It just keeps falling down. I'm like,
Dude, he's always had that issue.
put some product in it, Jimbo. I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
come on, Jimbo. So let's
Not
talk
a miracle, is it?
Yeah. So let's talk about your start. Obviously, we talked about how you would cut our hair in your kitchen. But you went over to Monaca and you started at Main Street Barbershop. What was that?
Yeah.
It's like you started as an apprentice, right?
No, not so. I was like in school
Okay.
while I was working there.
Yeah.
My one of my good friends, I don't know if you ever met him, John.
Yeah, I've met him.
He used to live in the house I live in now, and he used to work at Main Street. And I would start going into Main Street just to pretty much like learn from John. Like what I would sit there all day and like watch John cut hair, and he would like walk me through haircuts. And then like after hours, like I would bring like one of my friends in, and he would like stay late and teach me how to like, he would walk me through a haircut, whatever. And then he ended up moving to Florida for a little bit, and I was in school while he was moving to Florida. So I kind of took his spot at in Monaca. And then for like a little over, pretty close to a year, maybe over a year. I don't really know. And then the shop right down the street from me, like the old guy there retired. It's been a shop for like 50 plus years.
Yeah.
He retired. My landlord that owns my house owns that building, and he knew I was a barber, and he asked me if I wanted it. I was like, hell yeah.
So that's how it started. That's how
That's how
Keeks
it started. Yeah, that's how Keeks started. I was just, I mean, it was funny because when I first like was talking to John about like becoming a barber, like he was like all about like showing, like teaching me and everything. And he knew he was moving to Florida, and he was like, dude, he's like, you got to talk to my landlord. He's like, I bet he'll give you this spot. And like, I drove down there a year before I was even offered the shop to my shop while it was still being ran. And like, we were like looking in the windows when it was closed, and he was like, dude, he's like, you should really talk to him about this and try to get it. And then once I moved into the house, it wasn't like after like the first year of being here, he was like, hey, he went to shop. He's retired. And when he retired, he literally just like, dude, he left clippers there. He left everything there. You know, like
Really?
the only thing he grabbed was like his apron, and like that was it.
Wow.
Like,
So you inherited some clippers.
no, I didn't use any of that, man. Those things were old. I
Should
threw
have
all
framed
that
them
away.
up and be like, here, like this to remember.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I mean, I changed the place like completely. Like we took the walls down,
Yeah.
put new walls up because it wasn't touched for like over 50 years. And we took those light sockets out, and to replace the lights, it was like you can crumble the light socket like in your hand. It was just completely black, like all knob and tube, and it was just it hasn't been touched for 50 years. So now there's still some work I got to do, but
Yeah.
it's coming along.
Yeah, it's awesome. So for people that may not know, like tell us why you decided to call it Keeks Barbershop. Why is it Keeks and not Circles Barbershop or Christian's Barbershop or
Yeah, it was a family nickname. It was my mom and dad called me it since I was born. Like when I was younger, it was Kiki. And then I got a little bit older, it turned to Keek.
yeah.
And few people like there maybe like even like Stubbs, like my closest friend. He never used to call me Keek. You know,
Yeah.
it was always Christian. There might have been like two people like beside like outside of my family that called me that. Now it's like everybody calls me it now. I mean, even like everybody, even my brother, like he's still called like he never really used to call me it,
Yeah.
but for my mom and dad, like they always did, and I thought about the name for a while, and I mean even you like think I brought like some ideas to you to try to
Yeah, you did. Yeah. I remember
figure
that.
it out, but yeah, that's how I got the name.
Yeah, it's I like that story just because it was a family name.
Yeah,
And now it's the name of your business. It has that close knit feel to it.
right. Yeah, and my grandpa was a barber too, and he had opened a barbershop in New Brighton for a while, and I think that was also Circle's Barbershop.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to have like the same name as his barbershop, but I mean it's not there anymore. But I didn't want to have the same exact thing, and then it took me a while to try to figure it out. I didn't want to. I mean, you look at a lot of these barbershops, like I don't know, some of the names are kind of corny.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's been a sort of a revolution in barber shops recently.
Yeah,
Like basically with your generation. Like you have Keeks. It's like it's different, it's cool. Like even your logo is different. A it's like this, but it's a skeleton and it's got it's got
yeah,
the clippers in it. It's so cool. And like I never thought I'd see my dad wear a t-shirt with a skeleton
yeah,
on it.
yeah. That's
I never
funny,
thought I'd see my dad with that shirt on. Every time I see him with that shirt on, I get so happy.
dude. He wears that shirt all the
He
time.
wears it all the time. He loves it. He's so proud. He's more proud of you than he is of me.
every time I see him, dude, he has the shirt on.
Every time.
I gotta get him. I gotta get him one of the new ones.
Yeah, I saw the new ones.
Yeah, I
But,
got a few.
like I was saying, it seems like there's a revolution going on in the haircutting business, I guess.
Yeah.
Like there's you in Beaver County, and then you also have, I think you have some friends that work at this place, 10th Ward Barbershop in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. He actually just moved to Florida, but
Okay.
yeah, 10th Ward. That's over in Lawrenceville.
Yeah.
And then my buddy owns John. He moved back and opened up his own over in Leedsdale,
Yeah.
Iron Right. And yeah, you see a lot more people getting into it now. Like even like when it comes to cosmetology school too, you see like more and more salons popping up and everything. But I think like for the most part, it's only me and another barbershop in Rochester.
Yeah.
And the other barbershop, it's been there for around like 50 years. It's more like a lot of older guys go there. So
Yeah.
I've been getting like a lot of like new young people coming into Rochester from Rochester.
Yeah, and like what I've noticed is it seems like this new revolution, if you want to call it that, you're trying to bring the old school feel of a barbershop and like the kind of haircut that you get to this new generation with a modern feel. And I think that's awesome for the environment. Like that's an awesome environment to try and create. I
Yeah.
mean, I think our generation loves nostalgia. Like that's a drug to us, and that's kind of what it
Yeah,
is walking into a shop like that, like yours.
right. And that's how I wanted to make it. Like for the like, I mean, I wanted to put like my own like touch to it. Like I
Yeah,
love like old school movies and or whatever. Like anything like old schools. Like my chairs are from the 30s, you know, and
yeah,
I got like all like the movie posters going and Elvis getting his haircut, all like just like the old school feel. But then I don't know. I it's not even like even like about the look of it. It's about like being in the barbershop. So I used to work in a barbershop where there was like it was smaller and then there was one big TV and the
yeah,
TV was on constantly. Like everything like new movies playing that were out. Like so I would go in the barbershop on a Saturday, which is like a busy day, and no one would say a word to each other because they're all watching the newest movie on the TV, and it just
yeah,
didn't feel like a barbershop. I felt like weird trying to talk to my client because I felt like he was starving him. He's trying to watch a
yeah. Like
movie.
he's paying attention to that, not paying
Yeah,
attention to you or what's
and
going on around him.
like, dude, that's the kind of what like drew me into like being a barber was like the whole barbershop vibe, you
Atmosphere.
know?
Yeah,
Yeah, the whole atmosphere and like everyone just sitting there like bullshitting and some people don't even need a haircut. They just want to come in there and talk, you know,
yeah.
which is cool.
It's like
But
a little community center almost.
yeah, the pandemic kind of took that away, that feel away a little
Unfortunately,
bit because it's now I can only do appointments. It's technically one person per barber. I don't know if you know, I got someone helping me out in there.
no. I was going to
So
ask you about that if you've expanded at all.
yeah, I got someone helping me out. He only works like a few times a week, but it's nice when he's in there and like we got some people in the shop and we can get like an actual whole conversation going,
Yeah,
you
you
know.
get that. You get that atmosphere back.
Yeah, you get a little bit of that back. So hopefully we could go back to a normal where I could do because I do like taking appointments. You know, it's easy for
Yeah,
my clients, but um, I kind of want to do like a mix between walk-ins and appointments. So once
yeah.
once this thing settles down, we'll go back to walk-ins a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of why I started doing this like series of small business interviews is to
Mm,
try and help people out with the virus and everything because unfortunately it's not going away anytime soon.
yeah,
And I really just I think small businesses need their voice out there. And if I could provide it somehow, that's what I want to do. And that's why I'm glad to have you on this week.
yeah,
Before
that's
we
awesome.
wrap up, I do want to I want to say something that I think is really cool. It's a little bit of a personal story, but it involves your shop. My dad, whenever I told him you were going to have your own barber shop, he said, "Oh, where's it going to be?" I told him Rochester, and when he figured out where it was, he said, "That's where I used to get my haircut growing up."
Mm,
And now I think that's also where my brother got his first haircut. And now it comes full circle. It's like my dad's older, he's in his 50s, and now he's going to the same barbershop. And it's
yeah,
probably the same old barbershop atmosphere that you've built that he had back in the day. And I just think
yeah.
that's so cool to see a generation be able to come back like that.
Oh yeah,
Because obviously he got pulled into the, great clips, sports clips,
oh yeah,
that whole thing, the corporate side of uh, being a beautician or whatever. And it's like to see the old school kind of come back like that, and for an entire generation to come back to it, as I
yeah,
think it's just an awesome thing.
yeah. I mean, like your dad's. I mean, I get a lot of people like that, like your dad, like that's been going there since they were kids, and then now they're coming right back because it was closed down for a year, and they
Yeah,
were going other places, and like honestly, the I think that a lot of the people in Rochester saw that okay, it's not like I turned it into uh some like hipster shit,
yeah,
and they liked it, and I mean, my clients like range from like babies to like a lot of my guys are like 93 years old that's been going there since like they were young or
yeah,
well, not like young but they've been going there for a long time and like it's cool to have like those guys in there.
absolutely. And one more thing, I just kind of want to throw it in there to make you look good. You and your mom do a lot of charity work for the Humane Society in Beaver County. How'd you get into that, and what's that experience like?
Honestly, it's more her than me. I mean, she helps me out in like, cause I like doing it too. You know, I
Yeah.
try to do stuff like in the shop. We did something this year, like the like kind of like the Toys for Tots, but with the Humane Society. Like I tried doing something like this year, but it was hard because like I said, the pandemic, not everyone can just like come and go in the shop, you know. And
Yeah.
so it wasn't like that great of a turnout this year. But last year I got to do a party which like my mom like promoted a lot, and she got like a lot of people. And my barbershop for the day was like a giant party where we were trying to raise like a certain amount of pounds of like dog and cat food for the Humane Society, and we like tripled our goal that day.
Yeah.
And like my mom was on Facebook Live, everyone, because what she does is anytime she's a realtor, so anytime she sells a house, she donates part of her earnings to the Humane Society, and then she'll go to the Humane Society to drop off the donation, but then she'll like pick a dog or cat, whatever that's been there for like a while, or it doesn't have like that great of chance of being
Yeah.
adopted, because everyone wants like a puppy or like the cutest dog, whatever. And she'll have like a video of like her interacting with the dog, and she'll talk about the dog. And a lot of times that dog ends up getting adopted, which
Yeah.
is pretty cool. So she does a lot for them, and tries to like bring me into it with her as much as she can, you know. I mean, I can't be donating as much as she's donating, like, or as often as she's donating.
Yeah.
But yeah, we try to. I mean, she definitely does more than I do, but she tries to bring me in there every once in a while.
Yeah, it's just it's good to see small businesses getting involved with the community like that. And I just wanted to highlight that here at the end. And
Yes.
one more thing, I didn't tell you about this, but I'm going to buy a $25 gift card from you for the barbershop. And for anybody that has made it this far into the podcast, into the interview, all you got to do is leave a comment on YouTube that you got to this point, and even if you're listening to this on another platform, just leave a review that you got to this point, and I will put all those names into a thing on the internet that shuffles you around, and I'll be giving away a $25 gift card from Keeks Barbershop to whoever wins that. And I wanted to do that to try and help you get more customers and just give somebody a free haircut, basically.
Yep. Put 2 in there. I'll do 1 too.
All right, awesome. We got 2, one from me, one from Christian. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Christian, glad I could get you on here. Glad I could promote Keeks, and it's good to talk to you again. I feel like I never talked to you because you never answer your phone.
I know. I was just about to say it was good talking to you, because I am terrible with that. You called me this morning and I didn't answer right away, and he's probably.
And then you called right back though. So.
I did call right back, but at first I was like, he's probably like, this asshole, man. I'm terrible. I was cutting Cody the other day. I was telling him, I'm like, I feel so bad. I was like, because in my head I want to text you back, and then I just end up forgetting.
Yeah, that's what I told him.
Do it with everybody.
He told me. I messaged him because he had shared that you cut his hair. He was like, hit up Keeks for the fresh cut. And I was like, he's got to hit me up because I've been trying to get him on my podcast.
Yeah, I'm an asshole. I know.
No, it's all good, brother. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for being a good friend to me. Thank you for being a friend of the community. And thank you for your business that you've built.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Man.